Fantastic. I would like to ask a question about alignment. It seems to me that two modes of emotion really gets things manifesting pretty quick, and it doesn't seem like it's always finding the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It seems like when I get mad at the generation, or whenever I decide that it's the walking ticket, unless. Could you perhaps give some clarification on why those two emotions seem to be extremely effective at getting what I want generated now?
Give us a little more about what you just said. Give us a little more detail.
So when I'm angry at the situation and require change for my peace of mind to go further, it manifests. Or there has been a couple of situations in my, in my history, I guess, where unless it changed in a way that was unless it changed in a positive way, I was going to exit the physical.
What you're saying is that you have, at the moments that what humans say count the most, found a state of alignment. Now you're putting qualities and words and judgments on it, like anger, like perhaps even resignation, anxiety, or fear, or you said madness, being mad. What can be a trigger event, and because every energy burst of emotion is a trigger within you. Now, what happens is a lot of energy is being directed at a focal point. A lot of focus is going there. A lot of your attention is going there. And when it starts with anger, it doesn't mean that, because the emotion of anger is like, it is like fireworks. It rises very quickly and it explodes. And then the emotion of anger cannot last for a long period of time. There are simply not the capabilities within the human body and mind and spirit to hold on to the initial trigger emotion, which might be anger. So this then transforms into a more constructive, into more aligned, into a more receiving energy. Now, in your perception, looking back at it, you might say, I was angry at something and then I manifested that change. But we say that the moment of contrast, you have acknowledged and accepted the moment of contrast and allowed for that emotion to come through you, which was anger, which truly meant that in a bigger view of things, you have embraced the whole experience, because there cannot be a shift without contrast. Because if there is no contrast, then there are no two focal points. Wherever there is contrast, there is that which you desire and that which you don't desire. And your powerful emotion of anger was like a catapult that allowed for the energy and the focus to move towards that which you truly desire. And when you release that judgment that calls it anger or fear or doubt or anxiety, and think in more vibrational terms, then you will see that both the contrast and the manifestation are part of the very same circle. They are they cannot exist without each other. And so this powerfully directed energy has created the shift that you desired. Now, what we're saying is you do not have to have those powerful emotions of anger. You can allow yourself to experience contrast and remove yourself vibrationally from the observation and take a step back and realize that I have created this contrast for a reason. I have attracted this contrast for a reason. This contrast is my ticket. This contrast is my opportunity. This contrast has already within it change. This contrast already comes with the energy of change. This contrast already comes with the vibration of my true desire. This contrast already comes with the solution. This contrast already has within it the manifestation of my desire. Can you feel the difference in the observation when you look at it from a very mental point of view as opposed to looking at it from a vibrational standpoint?
I can. I'm just wondering why those specific emotions get where I want to go than other specific emotions, such as, like, well, I mean, anything really. Like, I've tried to put myself vibrationally where I've wanted to be on a number of different issues, and it seems like getting frustrated and mad at the facts on the ground seem to move me forward faster than acting or believing that I am already there.
They are, however, attracting more of the same into your experience. When becoming mad and not only allowing the moment of contrast to trigger the emotion and allowing it to come through and then move on, but rather using it as a tool and deliberately realizing that I am now choosing this emotion to move me forward, as you said, it only attracts more of situations and more of opportunities for you to move forward with those lower vibrational emotions. Whereas when you make a conscious decision about allowing more, a conscious decision about being at ease more, a conscious decision about playing more, a conscious decision about flowing more, a conscious decision about becoming softer, a conscious decision about listening, receiving, being, then this vibration within you will start to expand. It will start to become more dominant. It will start to become more present. It will start to transform your focal point. It will start to transform your perspective. It will start to transform your experience. And then you will not move into those states as much anymore, and you might not move into those states at all anymore, because rather than focusing on needing the situation to change, you're focusing on feeling wonderfully balanced and well, and realizing that from this place of balance and wholeness and alignment, your physical reality has to match up to that state within you. Your physical reality, by law, by universal law, has to mirror what your dominant vibration is. And then all of a sudden you find yourself having very, very different experiences and looking at the situations you described earlier as simply a vague memory from other times. And we would like to suggest that rather than focusing on the tools of how to fix the situation, which is always from the mindset of making it happen, from the mindset of it needs to change, from the mindset is of I need to make this happen, to what is my state of well-being? What feels good to me now? What is a better feeling thought? Maybe just a little better feeling thought. What is an even better feeling thought? What is something that doesn't have the slightest bit of resistance for me? It might be as easy as taking a breath of fresh air. It might be as easy as smelling a certain candle. It might be as easy as tasting something that has no resistance in your experience. And allow your being to expand from there, because your being is striving towards well-being, towards liberation, towards excitement, towards feeling really good. And we would like to suggest to put your attention, to lovingly put your focus on your harmonious well-being, to allow for all of that around you to slowly transform and dissolve, maybe even very fast.
I appreciate that. So I've actually done a lot of transformative work to make that happen. I was just wondering what your take was on it. So basically you're saying that that was the path of least resistance for Source to come in and make a positive change in my life, was getting me to that point, because I would not go in a different direction at that time in my life. And so that brings me to my next question. What does focusing on, what does consciously focusing on alignment matter whenever it seems like it is all inevitable anyways? Shouldn't we simply just go out and not care about anything and have fun?
When you experience fun, then we ask you, is it inspired fun? How do you perceive your experience of fun? Is it a wholesome experience, or is it a, I am suppressing, I am pushing away, I am simply trying to forget kind of fun? Because that doesn't really vibrate with the true meaning of the word. So we're asking you, what is fun for you?
What I'm saying is the feeling of fun should be the focus rather than specific, tuning to one wavelength or another, right? So rather than, and fun takes a myriad form, right? That's why we forgot in the beginning and came down here, right? So the forgetting kind of thing goes hand in hand with existence here in the physical. And when we come down here and have fun, since it's all inevitable that we go back to the same place, why worry about it?
Well, because each and every living being has come into the physical reality to experience the highest form of joy, of exhilaration, of excitement, and to move through those states by experiencing and moving through contrast as well, moving through experiences that allow for expansion. Because only when there is something like a bump that people call a bump in the road, there is expansion, because the bump in the road truly is only there to trigger the experience of, what do I desire? What do I not desire? Oh, I don't want this. I truly don't want this. So I'm moving towards my desire. I now know exactly what I don't want. Thank you for this bump in the road, because I was now able to experience the exact distinction between what it is that I want and what it is that I don't want. But we want to go a little back to the experience of fun, and we would like to add the word joy to it, and we would like to add the word well-being to it, because it is more wholesome like that. And we would like to go back to the previous conversation that we had earlier. When it comes to observing children, you truly receive all your answers, because children, and as you said before, you come into this experience and you forget, and it is not true. Children do not forget, but children do not consciously think about it either. And that is where the resistance part comes in, because adults, through the imprint that they have received in their bringing up, and through the perception and through the belief systems of society, have come into the state of observing everything and then weighing the pros and the cons, which children never do. A child never does that. A child always reaches for the better feeling thing. A child always plays in the infinite field of possibilities, and a child always fills in the blanks of what is not there in the physical reality. The child simply fills in their imagination. And as an observer, you truly cannot tell if the child believes that what they filled in their blank is truly there, or if they're only imagining it. The thing is, it doesn't matter to the child. The experience of joy and fun and happiness and play is just the same. It is just as intense. It is just as real. It is just as beautiful. So the children are simply playing, filling in the blanks. And the beautiful thing to observe is that the more they fill in the blanks, which is a natural thing for them to do, they create a new reality over and over and over again, and attract beautiful things that come so easy to them. And that is why we always say, be more like the children, play more like the children. And humans say, oh yes, we would love to, but we look really silly doing it. And we might get judged. We might get even called crazy. We might get locked away. And we say, just play a little. Just don't overthink it so much. Just play a little more, and you will understand the more you play, the more you will enter the field of alignment without focusing on entering the field of alignment. You will enter it through play. You will enter it through ease. You will enter it through allowing. You will enter it through laughing. You will even enter it through crying. You will enter the state of alignment by being more and more and more like a child, because that is the most natural state that children have and are living.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.